This explanation on why Abel's sacrifice was accepted and Cain's rejected is from the 4th century Latin early church Father Ambrosiaster, from his vast work called Questions on the Old and New Testaments. The entire work has been translated into English by John Literal, and it is available in print and Kindle on Amazon and free on archive.org. This is based upon the account in Genesis 4 verses 1 to 18. Now, for the explanation. First category, Old Testament. Question 5. Why was Abel's sacrifice accepted and Cain's rejected? This can be gathered from the words of the very passage itself, since the story is not wrapped in literary pretense. For Scripture's own language shows Abel to be wise and devout in what he did, but Cain careless and thoughtless, and therefore less devout. Abel, then, chose the better parts from the peaceful flock to offer to the Lord as Creator, so that from the things God had created he might offer him the worthiest, thereby proving both his own submission and God's merit, and showing his personal reverence in God as author of all. Cain, crudely, was unable to present this. Fixing his whole mind in the soil, he could not lift the eyes of his heart to heaven to see what would be worthy of the Creator. He offered whatever gifts to God, of whatever sort they were. The same cause is found in the Jews with their crooked minds. They were often criticized when they carelessly offered their own gifts to God's altar, gifts that did not even seem worthy of men, while the Lord said, "You offer to me the blind and the lame. I will not receive these from your hands. Offer them to your governor or your leader if he will accept them." Malachi 1 verse 8. It is agreed among all that the greatest gifts ought to be offered to a person of high rank. Therefore Cain's gifts were rejected, as the Lord said to him, "Why are you downcast, and why has your face fallen? If you offer rightly, but do not divide rightly, have you not sinned? Be calm. Its turning is toward you, and you shall rule over it." Genesis 4 verses 6 to 7. You see, then, that division suffers sin, since without considering what was worthy of God, he kept the better part for his own use. Therefore he is not criticized because he offered, but because he offered unworthy things. Nor is he condemned on that account, but because when warned, he refused to correct what he had done. For its turning, he says, is toward you, and you shall rule over it. That is, since I do not accept it, the gift you have offered is turned back to your own control, so that from then on you might know what you should do. From this envy flared up so that he killed his brother, so that the unrighteous man killed the one who had first shown righteousness, and a bad example might be given to mankind. Therefore, blinded by the rivalry of jealousy, he not only failed to give thanks that he had not been made guilty, and had learned how to correct this, but even added something worse by which he would deserve condemnation. Such is the case of careless and murderous Cain, like that of the wicked servant who, though his master had forgiven him, went out ungrateful and throttled his fellow servant, so that he might be condemned without excuse both for the past crime forgiven him and for his cruelty against his fellow servant. Matthew 18 verse 27. And yet Cain was not at that moment condemned, but, shamed and guilty, was sent forth under terror upon the earth, so that, if he repented, he might be forgiven. Fearing that someone might kill him for this deed, he said to the Lord, "My case is too great for me to be left. If you cast me out today from your face, I shall hide myself from the face of the earth, and I shall be groaning and trembling upon the earth. And whoever finds me will kill me." Genesis 4 verse 14. Terrified, then, by the words of the just judge, Cain fears being despised by the Lord, so much so that he thinks he must flee even from the sight of men, knowing that whoever lives under God's wrath may also be killed by man. But what does the Lord answer him? Not so. He says, "That is, I did not spare you, though you do not deserve to live, so that you might be killed by someone, but so that you might groan and tremble, as one who first gave an evil example upon the earth, when the fruit from the ground does not answer to your labors." Therefore he says, "Whoever kills Cain will pay sevenfold vengeance." Genesis 4 verse 15. This sentence shows that Cain is rightly to be condemned. For when he saw that a law was given with such a threat, so that no one should imitate his deed, he began to fear more, knowing what evil he had committed. So God promises sevenfold vengeance if anyone should aspire to this crime, so that, seeing that Cain had been made guilty by this act, and while the revelation of the law was not yet clear, he might know that he would be punished sevenfold if he did not avoid it, so that the knowledge of the law would add 6 plagues beyond what Cain had deserved, and with Cain's plague the vengeance would be counted as 7. By this same number, those would be rewarded who leave all things and follow the Lord, and in the future will have eternal life. This is the sign the Lord set upon Cain, lest anyone who found him should kill him. Genesis 4 verses 13 to 15. In the case of a murder, a law has been set that if anyone commits homicide, since every murder is homicide, he shall be 7 times more guilty than Cain was, so that, terrified by such severity, others may restrain themselves from this crime. The end. Be sure to check out all of the works by John Literal on Amazon and archive.org. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos.